because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to I don't dislike George Washington. I don't dislike even some of the most racist people in history. But I want to know their history, but I also want to know not only that, you know, hey, they were whatever, but I also want to know about the Shirley Chisholms. I also want to know about the Frederick Douglasses. And not even Nat Turner. I want to know more about Nat Turner than him just being some revolutionary. I want to know the Nat Turner that was out in the fields. I want to know the Nat Turner that grew up as a kid. I don't want to know just the narrative. You know, tuned in to Urban Conservative. 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 Tuned in to Urban Conservative.
Q9, my futon, hold it up and smoke it. Transgression, a progression of a war we ain't asked for. Transgression, a progression of a war we ain't asked for. It's madness, yo. All the things that we could talk about.
Call it.
But let's talk about these urban circumstances real quick.
And basically it's
we got this.
So
Revolutionary.
Frosty hand. Muhammad is the fame's name, forever stand.
Standing on royal fusing of justice for the few, ridiculed by the pale terrorists bent on genocidal obsession, rooted in fear of neglection and abandonment, fueled by nightmares of ancestors' justice.
Because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to I don't dislike George Washington.
The kind of friends I think all friends should be like my friends. My friends are the kind of friends I think everyone needs. My friends see the things at times I don't see. My friends hate the police.
What has changed?
Are deemed the criminals, and the blacks are deemed the criminals.
Shut up and help.
Reflection ain't nothing but the inner child trying to see you. You gonna look? You gonna pick up that book?
Lord, keep me far from the faith. Guide me through night and day. Teach me your ways. Show me the righteous way to sway. Lord, can you teach me, please? Show me the way, I'd say.
Grand risings and welcome to the Urban Conservative with Chaz Neal. I'm your host. Good morning. I really need to get a green screen. I think I'm going to get one today. But good morning. Today's Friday, man, and I just see a lot going on, and I want to get into an in-depth conversation this morning. But first, I want to kick it off with some music, man. And y'all already know how I do it. So I'm going to play some music, and I'm not even going to tell y'all what it is today. I'm just going to get into it. So here you go. And I hope you guys enjoy. Be quiet.
Get it out! No, we gonna take it to the I'm telling you, yeah, fool. I hope you don't got no bills to pay. It's going down. I'm coming out with heat, fool. Hey, Ray Love, I'm finna stick him, boy, young lady. Watch these leaks.
You're talking a lot.
Look, you can't bag me. I'm gonna take it straight to the phone.
All right, whatever. Just drop it.
I couldn't help but notice your pain.
My pain.
It runs deep. Share it with me.
They'll never take me alive. I'm getting high with my profile. Cocked on these suckers, time to die. Even as a youngster, causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust, but now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed up and take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash up on the curb, cause my business blurry. Maybe if they tried to understand me, what should I do? I had to feed my fucking family. What else could I do? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them phonies in the club. Got my mind no danger, never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why do we die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of the 12 gauge. My memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. Will I let them be 23 and so much pain?
Years and years of that rough life, running crazy wild as a kid, and growing tough with a knife, and living tripe from the regular, walking out competitors, see a figure moving, chase them down like the fucking predator, get in trouble every day in school, act a fool, and you know I had to break every rule, showing off for the bitches cause I had the mad breath, so I had to watch my back when it was time to step, but my the grimiest with love for me, go pop pop, it's in the sucker up above for me, and yo, currency kept passing me by, but I didn't cry. Bro got hit off with a pack and started selling coke. And now the money's looking lovely. Hop the drop top and now the bitches wanna rub me. Kicking the game, it's all the same. I kick it back, yo. Give them slack, yo. And now they label me the Mac, yo. People check it. Get disrespected if you fun on the bird, man. You heard, man. Catch a couple shots from the Glock in my head. Damn, at least I'm realistic with my biscuit. You know you get your ass twisted, so run for cover. Me and my man got a plan, kicking major done. So if your old nigga look for the gauge to bust, I like the pressure with the street fame. It's a deep game, and my mama always crying, yo, there's so much pain.
They got me mobbing like a low to get my slug on. I load my clip and slip my motherfucking gloves on. I ain't scared to blast on these suckers if they test me. Trust I got my block cop player if they press me. Bust on motherfuckers with a passion. Better fuckers, I ain't looking when I'm blasting. I'm a nothing drinking Hennessy and getting high on the lookout for my enemies. Don't wanna die, tell me why, cause the stress getting major. A buck 50 across the face with my razor. What can I do but be a thug until I'm dead and gone? Keep my brain on the game and stay headstrong. These sorry bastards wanna kill me in my sleep. I'm really cannot see, and every day is just a struggle. Steady thugging on the streets and I be balling low. Don't let them make you worry. Keep swinging at these suckers till you worried. I was born and raised hell, a nigga from the gutter. Word the mother on touch. I'm kicking dust up, ready to bust. I'm on the scene, steady mugging me. Until they kill me, I'll be living this life. I know you feel me. There's so much pain.
So that was Tupac featuring Stretch Pain. I wanted to play that because I felt like it, you know, this video was made, this song was made 30 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And I think it still resonates today in our environment, in our communities, that we're so desensitized to violence and really don't talk about the core issues with it. You know, we always want to beat around the bush. Well, not here. We don't. You know what I'm saying? And I think going with this 90s theme for a reason, because I'm going to play a video. We're going to talk about Minneapolis today, the misconduct, and it's not just, I'm not just going to talk about police, right? And I want people to know, because you know, I know that, you know, Officer Mitchell was killed, and that's sad, right? Nobody should be murdered, especially when they're doing their job, right? And they're called to a scene to help out in the community. But I'm going to get into a little bit further, because karma's a bitch, right? And see, and the Bible says an eye for an eye. And I want to get into the reasons of, and I want people to think about this, right? Because I know people are going to be like, oh, this nigga called himself a conservative. Yes, a conservative, not a fucking Republican, a conservative, right? And I go according to God's law, not man's law, God's law, right? An eye for an eye. There's things that have gone on in the Minneapolis community between Minneapolis police and residents that a lot of people don't want to talk about. A lot of people don't want to discuss, because they feel like it's in the past and we just need to let it go. No, that's not how history goes, buddy, because history repeats itself. And if we don't have an understanding about our past, how the fuck are we supposed to get to the future and the present when we don't understand what's going on behind us? So that's what I want to talk about today, because the history between the Black community and the Minneapolis police and our so-called Black leaders goes deep. And that's what I want to discuss. This is a video from, trying to think of the exact year this was. I think it was 1992. This was 1992. And a lot of people, you know, it's crazy because I just seen this man last Saturday at the scene with Lisa Clemens. But I'm about to play a video that Sharif Willis went to U.S. Congress to talk at a committee hearing, right? Paul Wellstone was there. There's some others. But I want to talk about this, and I'm gonna it's about 7 minutes long, but I want people to listen to Sharif's words.
Growing up, where weapons were not really as much of a threat, at least weapons that could cause the kind of serious violence we're seeing today. What is what is the relationship of the police communities in your programs today? Is community policing a part of this effort at all in the Twin City area?
Well, the United for Peace effort, in which we pledged support of each other in May, was endorsed by the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioner DeBraca, as well as we've had a lot of dialogue with the Chief of Police.
Mm-hmm.
The line officers are a different thing altogether. I no longer drive because every time I get behind the steering wheel and they see me behind the steering wheel, they pull me over and harass me and other things of that nature. So I have someone drive for me. And I found that to be a lot more comforting than having to spend some hours in a lockup. I think that there's a lot of frustration on the part of police officers in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just as manipulated as those individuals who are plagued with drugs and everything else. I think they're actually puppets. I think that anytime an individual who initially wishes to serve and do something good and productive within the community can get burnt out, seeing the same repeated nonsense every day, the same frustration and exasperation coming from different communities. So they start to hate those individuals. Some may deem it to be prejudice, racially, whatever you might term it to be. the relationship between the community and the police, especially in the communities in which I live, is one of hostility. And I think that drugs is responsible for that in a large part. I feel that the war on drugs is a fallacy. I think that the United States government has endorsed drugs to come in by virtue of the fact that we are the most technologically advanced country in the world. I seen a newspaper, I was listening to a radio interview that Senator Durenberger gave once on WCCO, a Minneapolis station. And he was talking about this satellite that picked up a picture of a gas can in the jungles of Vietnam. And I wondered right then, if we were that technologically advanced, why couldn't we pick up the caravans that were coming out of Colombia, bringing cocaine into the United States? And this has been expressed numerous times. I just came back from Chicago, where we took a United for Peace delegation down there, and we're supposed to meet with 2,000 to 3,000 brothers, but we end up meeting with about 400, and that's a respectable number. Anytime there are individuals who are conscious enough to try to make a difference and try to make a change. And Chicago is really devastating. We were really pleased that they asked us to come from Minneapolis to try to impact something on them. And I looked at all of the deterioration and the decay, and I wondered, was this like this when I was coming up there, or was this something new? And I determined that this was new. This was the blight that it came from all the drugs and all the uncaring within the African-American community. African-Americans in this country, African-American men in this country, believe that there's a conscious effort to kill us all. We believe that there is a plan by the powers that be, that genocide is that plan for African-American men. And I can go into a number of ways in which to express that. You have various nationalities come into this country and automatically do far better than African-Americans. You say African-Americans are lazy and all the rest of that. I have every day dealt with violence. I go to more funerals. I go to more crying mothers. And I have more kids come up to me asking for jobs. Recently, we were able to, because of an incident that occurred in North Minneapolis, to have everybody wanting to give up jobs because there was violence occurring. They was thinking that everybody, these blacks was gonna tear up the city. So now everybody is ready to give up some money, give up some jobs. And when we translated from all the meetings that we had about 25 jobs. There is, I don't know of any gang member that owns an airplane or a helicopter or a boat that is able to get past all of the technological advancements that this country has and smuggle tons and tons of narcotics into this country, and they land in African-American communities. Nancy Reagan said, just say no. She said that's because it started crossing over into white communities. Drugs have been in African-American communities for years. Had it not started crossing over, Nancy Reagan would have went right back to business as usual. And then there may have been some indications that the Contras and everybody else from the CIA was involved in that. So speaking for a large number of African Americans, we have no trust in this government. We don't feel that a lot of the members in this government are really being responsible to the citizens, not only African Americans, Hispanics, and whites. If you got a bankroll in this country, you cool in the game. If you ain't got no money in this country, it's tough. It is tough.
Let me just ask you one more before turning over to Senator Wellstone. Question, if I could. What works?
Paul Wellstone. So that's if people don't know the story about Paul, Man, we'll get into that maybe one day. But I wanted y'all, and I brought up Sharif this for a reason. You know what's crazy is, I wish I could see how many, I see there's 19 people watching, and this is through multiple platforms. But my question is, how many people watch C-SPAN? How many people sit there and watch, committee hearings going on, public hearings? Like, do people sit there and watch that? Is that something that's a part of your daily life? I do, and I'll tell you right now is that I didn't. What made me pay attention was different grassroots, ordinary citizens who wanted to educate people and said, if you really want to know what's going on in your community, if you really want to know what's going on, if you want to know who's involved, if you want to know the truth that city councils won't tell you, what police departments won't tell you, right? What governors won't tell you, go watch C-SPAN. Dr. Fauci been on there most of this damn week, and there's a lot of things that are coming out about COVID that I think people should really pay attention to, and yet because certain people put it out there, people be like, oh, you're lying. No, why don't you go educate yourself instead of calling somebody a liar, right? Why don't you go watch it yourself or go look for it yourself? I don't understand that. We're so quick to judge people and say ill things without doing our research. And that baffles me because a lot of this information is out there, but we're too scared to go look for it. Because I got another video, and this one is from David Banner. This is from another committee hearing, a congressional hearing on hip hop, which was in 2007. So this was 15 years later to when, Sharif was at the hearing with Congress. So I'm gonna be quiet and let this play. And I want people to hear. I want people to listen, because there's some shit that was said, man. There's some shit that was said. Even in this one, even with Sharif, there was a lot of shit that was said, I think, that went over people's heads.
LBJ cussed like a sailor. Richard Nixon, they got the tapes. He cussing like a man going out of style. They're still the president of the United States. To be quite simplistic and reductionistic, yes, obviously you can be a role model. Look at Richard Pryor, who used cursing in a very creative and interesting fashion, and yet who spoke about some of the most powerful social problems that prevail in American culture. Here's what we have to come to grips with. To be positive is not itself a virtue if it's not accompanied by serious, powerful art that forces us to reflect upon our society. All art should not make you feel good. Some art should get in your face. Some art should be irreverent. The point and purpose of art is not simply to make you feel warm and fuzzy. Some art ought to make you change your bigoted ways. Maybe you're a sexist. Some art can make you think about it. Maybe you're a racist. Some art can make you think about it. Some art then perpetuates the very legacy that it claims to want to resist. Should we be critical of it? Absolutely right. But I think we're looking for either or, black or white answers. That's not it. I think that, yes, as Kanye West, look at the Kanye West who beat 50 Cent in this recent scrimmage for hip hop supremacy. That's a mark of the maturity and the evolution of hip hop. Whereas 50 Cent, I don't know what you heard about me, but Can't Get a Dollar Out of Me was rejected in favor of a guy singing about Jesus. But even on the song singing about Jesus, right after that, he says, if this manager keeps assaulting me, I will be assaulting him. And after I mess the manager up, I'm going to shorten the cash register up. Even after he's singing One Glad Morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away. That's the convergence of complexity that manifests our conflicted lives. And I think hip hop at its best, again, both reflects the pathologies that need to be rooted out and provides an answer through a scalpel of rhetoric to be able to dig into the body of the problem and see what the reality is. And I think at its best, it does that. And I think that, yes, you can be a positive, uplifting figure and not say anything, and you can be a so-called degraded figure who is not positive and say something profound and intelligent. And I think that what we have to do is to push for self-criticism. Misogyny, sexism, homophobia, racism, and the like need to be dealt with, articulated, and wrestled with, regardless of what color they come in, regardless of what body they come in. But at the same time, as Mr. Banner is suggesting, we must not somehow quarantine the problem to young black people who, when they manifest the pathology, are seen as its origins. They are certainly, at the worst, seen as its continuation.
Let me thank all of you for your comments, and let me thank you, Mr. Chairman. And of course, I really feel that this discussion has been a very good one. And Mr. Chairman, I look forward to continue to work with you in this regard. Thank you. I yield back.
The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Mr. Crump, there's a lot of sickness in American society.
Right.
This Congress has a lot of work to do. Washington, D.C. has a lot of work to do. We have no child left behind, but the money isn't there. We're debating right now making sure that all children get health care, but the president's saying he'll veto that legislation. We have a lot of work to do in our country and here in Washington in order to make sure that every child in America is given the opportunity they need: education, health care, protection in the community. There's no debate over that. And I'm a liberal Democrat from Massachusetts. So on those things, that's what I come here to do every day. And we're fighting to make that possible. And the work that you do for Katrina in books, that's great. It really is. I guess the question I would ask you is, how can you work to have a positive message? Because they have to hear a positive message from Congress too. There are people here fighting to get that positive message out too. We're not successful in the short run. We have to continue to fight. What can you do? Because what you do in Katrina, unfortunately, what you do in some of these other things, kids in America don't hear about that. They should, but they don't. All they hear is your music. So what can you do working with those of us here who are trying to get out a positive message, to try to put positive programs on the books? What can you do in your music to get out the positive message, to accent that? What can you do?
I actually call my music a Bible with a Playboy cover on it. And the one thing that I disagree with you about is kids know what I do, because I make sure I get on BET, I make sure that I get on MTV. And as a matter of fact, one of the reasons why my last album probably didn't reach the place that it was supposed to reach, even though I had one of the biggest singles in the world, is because I didn't spend time promoting my album. I spent time promoting what was going on in Mississippi and the fact that people in Mississippi were being ignored. I think what happens, as a matter of fact, and I think if you talk to people in the crowd, people look at me as more of an activist now than they do as a rapper, and it sort of hurts my pocket, but that's fine.
Do you think that your music is consistent with,
yes,
or undermining of the message you're sending on?
But actually, my music
is the music that you put out there consistent with, or undermining of the message you're sending on Katrina?
My message is very consistent.
The message in your music.
Actually, if like I say, I call my music a Bible with a Playboy cover. I start here and I end in a different place. And what I will say real quick, I think part of the problem I see in Congress right here today, I look at the fact that we're debating about something that's so very important in our society, but our parents are gone. I'm looking at the seats. Our parents are gone. And as more questions are being asked, as important as people say that this is, our parents are gone. So we're left here again. It's probably by the end of this statement, it's going to probably be more of us than it will be of you guys. So once again, we're here to fend for ourselves again.
Can I
questions not being asked?
say this to you? Every time one of your videos play, there's not a video playing of your work in Katrina. There's not a video playing of this other message. All there is that one video, and that's what the young people in America see. What can you do in your videos, in your music, that helps to propel this more positive message out there at the same time? This Katrina message. What can you do?
It's funny that you say that because people always say that my videos are confusing because I always try to put something in my videos that I probably should spend more time being focused on the music at hand. What I will say is
Can
this.
you do more? Can
I ask you a question?
Can you do more?
Yeah, I can do more.
No, let me ask you. Will you do more?
No, I'm doing more. I think it's better for me to become as big as 50 Cent. So instead of asking the Red Cross to do our hoods right, in which the Red Cross did not do our hoods right, I can do it myself with the finances that I have made. And what I will say, I am, and I had to admit this, after I talked to those preachers, I am like Stephen King. I do better at horror music. Horror music is what I do. You don't ask Will Smith to do the same. Well, while you're acting Will Smith, can you please make sure that you put some kind of message in your movie while you're acting and you're being a killer?
Okay.
We're musicians.
Look, we here in Washington have work to do. I come to work every single day trying to do better for the people that you're sending your message to. My question to you is, are you willing to try to do better in communicating a message that is more positive?
What I will say, I am willing to work harder to change the conditions in which I come out of, so maybe I won't have to talk about it. Maybe if we spent more time in the hood and being the fact that Mississippi is the most impoverished state, in the union, maybe if my conditions change, I would have different things to talk about.
Can you get better?
I mean, I can get better if the situations get better.
So you're not.
Can we make the situations better? I'm only speaking about what I see in my neighborhood.
Well,
change the situation in my neighborhood, and maybe I would have something else to talk about.
We are working to.
And I'm not being combative. It's just painful. It's just painful to me that we go through situations as African Americans, and it's like we first of all, we were brought here as slaves. We were thrown in situations, and now we're talking about the stuff that we see, and it's like it's a big problem. Everything there's nothing that you can look at in my music and say that it doesn't exist in my community. Like that's all I'm asking is let's really address the real problem, because the truth is everyone who points a finger from that perspective, we can probably trace something back to each and every family that helps affect the music that I'm talking about.
Children don't always see it every day the way you do. And the question that you have, and I think we all have to do, and Washington has a responsibility, is to create a sense that there is hope, that there's a reason.
So, to me, I know people say, celebrities, we shouldn't listen to them. But, there's a lot of them that have very good points. There's like D1, that is very vocal about the way that our music is. And I do agree, you know what I'm saying? But we've gone and I want people, this was 2007. So this was 17. All right, would be 17 years ago. Yeah, 17 years ago. And look how we've came. I sit there and I think about Sharif's words. I literally, just being on 36th and Penn, on Saturday, in which I go to that area all the time, you know what I'm saying? But I really wasn't over there like that, like I was on Saturday. And I was able to walk around and just take in everything. And I sat there and I went back in my head and I thought about 2021 when we were out there. And it was different. It was different. When are we going to start caring instead of always pointing the finger? Because there's enough blame to go around for everybody. There's enough blame to go around. But when are we going to start holding each other accountable? See, that's the key word. Nobody wants to hold anybody accountable. And it makes me wonder, like, why? But then, I sit there and I think about it. If they eradicated violence, right? If they got rid of the killings over drugs and the senseless, stupidity, right? What else would they have to fight for? If we all got along, right? If we all got along and just had civil discourse, they lose. We win. Because at the end of the day, they want this mayhem because it makes money for them. It makes money for them. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And that's something that Evan Brown, who city council member, I'm over the target. What do you mean? I just feel like everything that they do is to literally, like Sharif said, genocide. We literally have a weapon of mass destruction out on our streets right now with fentanyl, right? They make all these gun laws, but but here's my thing of it is, right? Who does it really protect though, these gun laws? Because it's not protecting anybody on the streets when all you're doing is making it harder for legal gun owners. Now, I don't let that go over your head. Everything, right? Because everything, what's crazy is there's some things that, America sees as a privilege, like our driver's license. And then some things are a right. And I think a lot of people have privileges and rights confused and messed up. And that's something that needs to be discussed. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't realize about rights and privileges and let's just say I had to educate myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with educating yourself. There's nothing wrong with that because when you know better, you do better. And I see a lot of people, they don't know better and they're not doing better because if they were, we would be in such a better place. Such a better place. But I want to share something real quick because it is election year. And we're talking, I'm not done with the Minneapolis police yet. I'm gonna go back to their weird asses. But I want to share something about Don fucking Samuels and Klobuchar. So you see this picture right here. Let me bring it over to these. See, because we're gonna talk about this. It's an election year. There's a lot at stake. I'm not telling people to go vote for Royce. I'm not telling people to go vote for Omar. I'm not saying none of that, right? What I'm telling you is to not vote for either of these motherfuckers. Go find you an independent candidate, right? Amy has done our community wrong for years. Wrong for years. Don Samuels has done our community wrong for years, regardless if he's a city council member, regardless if he's the director, CEO of a nonprofit. He's done our community harm. Why do we keep on electing these people? I really want to know because I got one more picture to show you. Him. A young Keith fucking Ellison, our attorney general. our attorney general. And I want people to know what this is, right? This is about what you're seeing right there was a march. A march. 1,000-man march, actually. Do you know for what, anybody? Anybody want to guess? Why Minneapolis would have a million black man march? You would think that it was for, tons of violence going on in our community. You know, hey, let's do a march. But yet, what did they do it about mainly? What did they do it about mainly? About a flower shop owner being killed. A flower shop owner being killed. And yet there was a reward paid for any information leading to an arrest. Who got that reward? Because y'all locked up an innocent man. Who did that reward go to? Y'all locked up an innocent man. An innocent man. And not even a man now, a child then, a scared teenager, a scared kid. And yet we allow these people into office. We allow these people in our fucking communities. Because I got something else for y'all today too. Because the gloves come off, man. They've actually been off. But I've just been waiting. Because these motherfuckers just keep on being disrespectful. And it's crazy because it's like at the end of the day, I feel like people really don't have no regards for feelings. I feel like politicians have no fucking regards for a lot of shit, and it's crazy to me. And it's like, why? So let me take that. Hold on, because I gotta put something up real quick, because there's some, I guess, there we go. All right, because there's some pretty fucked up language in this, and I fuck with Philip. So all of the face down teddy bears are gone. This morning, all of everything at Anaya Allen 36 Penn Memorial is gone. Hauled off the block to the dump. What is next? The clear out of the beloved. Oh, don't be I don't think. Who's responsible for this? So if people remember, this was the corner of 36th and Penn. And this is how it is now this morning. I was just on that corner Saturday. All those bears were there. Everything was there. And now it's all gone. But yet they won't clean up. It's crazy because we did a lot of that when we was out there. And that's what's crazy is they want to get rid of. That's why I say they trying to get rid of shit and people don't understand. You know what I'm saying? That can be, the bears were kind of wet. Well, they weren't they were wet, and run down. But for me, there was a daily reminder how fucked up our community is, because at the end of the day, there's baby killers walking around. And I think we need to understand that there's people in communities that walk with us, that talk with us, that chill with us, that literally are killers, are baby killers. And yet nobody says nothing. What kind of society is that? What kind of world is that? But I think it's where, as long as it doesn't affect us, we're okay. We're okay with it. And I see that goes on a lot. That goes on a lot in America. That goes on a lot, especially in Rochester. And it's sad to see is that we don't like to hold people accountable because at the end of the day, it harms us. It harms us in more ways than one. That's what I don't understand. How can you call yourself a community leader, but yet allow community disruption and things done that are wrong? I will never understand that. I will never understand that. If people can't say that you've changed when you still out there doing the same old bullshit, I get so tired of that because I get tired of people judging me, right? I get tired of people judging me, but yet you look in their closet because everybody got skeletons in their closet, right? And it's like, how you bringing up something from high school, from I did in high school, but yet y'all are out here currently doing this shit, currently doing things that are against the law, that are you're lying to the community, you're scamming, which is still against the law. So tell me, and I will never understand that. And people will be like, oh yeah, no, how is that right? That y'all can literally team up with people that have done way worse things than I've done, ever could imagine of doing. And y'all stand with them and say that y'all are right and that the few people are wrong. That's wild to me. That's how I know that we live in a society that is more about following the masses and what feels good than what about right and wrong. We are a fucked up society. A fucked up society, because how can people still stand with police and you know that they are a large part of the problem that goes on in our communities, right? And I'm not saying that our community isn't the problem itself, because it is, but so are the police. Nobody wants to be held accountable. The system doesn't want to be held accountable. Elected officials don't want to be held accountable, because we'd rather give promotions or raises than yet to sit there and be like, you know what, hey, it's time to start doing right. Let's start calling each other out. Let's start holding each other accountable to bad behavior, because then you wouldn't have to hear stories in the newspaper, right? Because I could bring up a bunch that have been going on. People act like this shit is new in Minneapolis. It's not. There's years and years and years of history. Years and years and years of history. This ain't something fucking new in Minneapolis. They done paid off. I bet you if you put in the last 30 years of how much Minneapolis has paid for misconduct from the police department, I guarantee it's in the hundreds of millions. I guarantee it. Because George Floyd was just 27. The lady who Chauvin abused or violated, she said she ain't. I guarantee it, she getting more than 5, because I think it was like 9. I think she wanted 9.5 million or some shit like that. 9.7. She gonna get a hefty bunch. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's got to be a point we're still paying for misdeeds, and then we were giving people raises who sat there and watched this shit go on, who were silent. So we're giving raises to people who are silent and complicit. You know what's crazy to me is we want to bring the RICO charges on YSL and gang members. What about the police department and elected officials? Let's start doing that. Let's start putting RICOs on them. Because I don't understand this. It's like all of these people literally like to judge, but yet y'all are worse. Y'all are worse. I've learned my lesson. I've paid my debt to society. Y'all are currently out here doing crimes to the community. Doing crimes. VTOL. That's what's sad. Bobby Joe Champion. And because people are scared of the truth, they don't want to see it, because we could end all of this. Just like Sharif said, who's bringing it in? We don't own no ports. We don't own no boats. We don't have no planes. We can't control Coast Guard, Customs. Can maybe get a connect. Come on. And people think that Rick Ross shit was fake. People really would need to watch Snowfall. If read the books, listen to this man's story, because there is enough evidence to show that our police departments are corrupt, that our elected officials are corrupt. Right. Oh, they will look the other way. You got a prime example, the Miami of the North. Who remembers the Miami of the North? Who remembers the Miami of the North? In Princeton, where this man was bringing all these drugs in, built him an airport and everything, so he could bring his drugs into Minnesota. And you had so many elected officials that were connected to this man. Minnesota has a long history of corruption, but they don't ever want to look at themselves, because there are so many things that have gone on in history in Minneapolis, that when are we going to say enough is enough? When are we going to be fed up? Because I'll tell you right now that if I was a Minneapolis resident, right, which I'm not, there's a lot of people that are screwing y'all over. A lot of people. A lot of people. A lot of people. Right. That's what's crazy, because that's one thing that pissed me off about when all of the facts came out, because Ellison, this is my thing of it is, right? And these ain't my words. These are people that were actually, they railroaded this young man so bad, man. And it's crazy because these are church pastors. Randolph Stanton. I'll share this tab instead. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Now I gotta show it. Yeah, this big old press conference. And this is what's crazy, because he was a state rep at this time, Ellison was. And I think he was where Bobby's the state rep, the same whatever district that is. But yeah. So you got Bill McManus, Don Samuels, Amy. Look at that grin on her face. That's what's crazy to me. Look at this grin. And it's sad because we allow these people to do this. That grin is ridiculous. That grin is so ridiculous. Look at that. Right there. Just ridiculous. And then the black people that be behind these people, it just trips me out. It just trips me out. Well, Don Samuels want to bring up Omar and her husband. Dog, you done fucked over the black community so much, you need to go sit your Jamaican ass down somewhere. Because that shit is ridiculous. Just focus on feeding your family, buddy. And let us take care of our community. Go back to Jamaica, actually. Go back to your homeland. You an immigrant anyways, nigga. Go back. They gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker. No, I'm not. Go back. Y'all fucking up our country anyways with y'all weird ass policies, with your weird ass. Should just be a trip, man. And people don't even want to speak up about it no more. That's what's crazy. We just be like, okay, it's all right, man. It's okay. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it, bro. We gonna We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Like, get the fuck out of here, nigga. You shall overcome, dumbass. Fuck out of here. Man, people just don't even understand. We are just still singing Kumbaya motherfucking y'all. And that's what's wrong. That's why we don't get nowhere, because the Bible, we keep on asking for man's law to do something right when God's law is always right. All we got to do is follow God's law, God's word. God, what does the Bible say? An eye for an eye. What does the Ten Commandments say? That's what people don't even. Let's get rid of all this man law, right? And let's go back to the word of a man that was about peace, prosperity, and unity. Because man laws has divided us. It's made us hate each other. And for what? When we all human beings. They don't really care about us. And y'all just won't get it. Y'all just will not get it. Because we just think that it's a game. We just think that, oh, it'll be okay. It's gonna be all right. No, it's not gonna be all right. It's not gonna be all right. Where's my receipts? Let's see. No, that ain't what I want. Oh, so I want to show y'all something. So this another. See, the bad cops. How Minneapolis protects its worst police officers until it's too late. Yeah, we see that with Derek Chauvin, right? Because there's so much history of these people. There's so much. $195 police disciplinary files obtained by the reformer. This was in 2020 that they did this article. But I want people just because there's a long history. There's a long, and they just allow it. Look at Arredondo. Look at Reggie. These people don't care about the truth. They never have. They've never cared about the truth. It's never been about the truth. It's never been about the truth. I don't think these people wouldn't know the truth if it slapped them. See, about 6 months before Floyd's death, a reformer contributor filed a public records request for all disciplinary records of the city's roughly 800 officers, which are public under state law. But it took a lawsuit for the city to provide even a single document. Although the 195 files eventually provided by the city are just a fraction of the disciplinary incidents, they show a department that is slow to address accusations of abuse, often taking years to mete out a letter of reprimand or a week's suspension without retraining or even corrective actions. The documents detail officers failing to report beating suspects, fighting in bars, yelling racial slurs, and sexually harassing domestic abuse victims. These are people who are supposed to protect and serve. I want people to understand that. These are people who are supposed to protect and serve. That's not protecting and serving. That's not. And yet, we don't say anything. We allow these people to do it because we have community leaders that say they're fighting for us. Or we have nonprofits who say that they're fighting for our community. But that's not the case. Because if that was the case, why aren't we getting change? Why are police still doing the things that they've been doing for years? but yet they'll give us the African American Family Preservation Act, which you can self-identify as black and they'll help you. So it doesn't make any sense to me because I can't, you know, what's that's the, yeah, I wish I could just self-identify as black, right? That people wouldn't hold that against me or people wouldn't look at me, you know, or think that I'm anything less than who I really am because you know, even just what happened in Rochester, man, it's like, and I get it was teenagers, right? I'm not asking for no prison time, no jail time. I'm asking for accountability, right? You know, community service. You know, maybe why don't they get to understand what harm that did to the community because that did harm some people. And you have people that aren't in their country, they wouldn't be called a nigger. That's the thing that hurts me the most, right? Is you have people that who work for or who are in charge of Black American organizations, but yet aren't Black American. They're immigrants from other countries. And it's like, and they're that's what's crazy is because they're not calling them niggers in their countries when people see them. And that's what really blows my mind. That's what really blows my mind. And it's just sad that we live in the times that we live in of where it's just okay that we'll get them next time. I feel like the justice system sometimes is like being a Minnesota sports fan. Oh, there's always next year. There's always next season. No, why do we always got to say that? Because I'm tired of saying names. I'm tired of continually saying the same thing over and for y'all people, and people don't even understand it. See, here we go right here. For example, years before Derek Chauvin kneeled on George Floyd's neck, he wasn't even allegedly hit a 14-year-old boy twice with a flashlight, who was John Pope. It wasn't allegedly. They've settled this, and he actually went to prison federally for this. So it's not allegedly anymore. He pled guilty. I think that's one thing that he did plead guilty to. Oh, it's always been some bullshit. Look at this. It's always Minneapolis has just been crazy, crazy, crazy. Wow. Violent crime was spiking in Minneapolis through the mid 90s, as it was in many other American cities. Grim marketing branded the city as particularly deadly hellhole. In 1995, a gun store owner in South Minneapolis printed T-shirts reading "Minneapolis, City of Wakes" during a legal fight over zoning with the city. The T-shirt soon caught the attention of a National Times writer, giving Minneapolis national. I never knew it came from that. Damn, interesting. I knew it came from the Times, but I didn't know where the Times got it from. Interesting. National authority for gun violence. Nowhere was this moniker so potent as in the Twin Cities and the surrounding suburbs. 2 months after the Times story ran, then Governor Arnie Carlson sent state troopers on helicopters into Minneapolis without warning local officials. Man, people don't even, those crazies, people don't even remember this shit. I remember like it was yesterday. No, I shouldn't really say that. I shouldn't really say that, right? So through the 90s and 2000s, the Minneapolis Police Department trained its officers to be warrior cops, formally with courses like weapons of mass destruction and informally on the streets. Discipline documents reveal that when Chauvin was still a recruit in 2002, he helped arrest 3 black men suspected of burglary. One of the men started swearing at Chauvin, so the senior officer, Bill Plummer, hit the brakes, causing one suspect to slam his head into the back of the partition. The man was treated at the hospital and then released after they learned he wasn't involved in the burglary. Palmer was sent to an anger management evaluation and told He would be suspended for 20 hours if he had more violations. This was Chauvin's on-the-job training. 1998, Human Rights Watch published a report on police brutality in Minneapolis and about a dozen other cities several months before Leonard joined the force. It reads like it could have been published yesterday. Officers who repeatedly commit human rights violations tend to be a small minority who taint entire police departments but are protected routinely by the silence of their fellow officers and by flawed systems of reporting. Oversight and accountability. The report details cases like those found in the Minneapolis Police Department's disciplinary records. Damn, 2 decades later, like Michael Holardi and Marvin Schumer, who in 1993 allegedly handcuffed 2 intoxicated Native men, stuffed them in the trunk of their squad car and drove erratically to knock them around. Even after the city paid out $100,000 to each victim, the cops stayed on the force. The Human Rights Watch report also details the case of Mike Sorrow, whose name is still invoked to this day when talking about police brutality. Sorrow was promoted through the ranks, while dozens of complaints of excessive force failed to stick to his record. This included a botched raid Sorrow led in 1989, which killed an elderly black couple when the officers' flashbang grenades set the house on fire. He cost the city a record-setting $1 million for kicking and beating a handcuffed college student in the back of a bar while working off-duty on New Year's Eve in 1990. Local and federal prosecutors declined to bring criminal charges, believing a jury wouldn't convict. But the victim, Craig Mish, bought a civil lawsuit that went to trial. One of the many damning details that emerged was that the police department reportedly did not investigate Mish's complaint because they believed it could hurt the city's defense. And damn, how is that not protecting? That's crazy. And that's what's crazy, because a lot of this shit comes out in court transcripts. And this is why a lot of reasons why they don't want to go to trial. And this is why it bothers me when families they just settle. No, take that. This is why I dislike Ben Crump. Because you could have got there, man. Listen, I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of families that could have got way more money than what they got if they would have just went to court. Y'all would have went to trial, because if they would have let the story come out of how much what they honestly did to your babies, your children, your loved ones, y'all, man, I'm telling you right now, there's some shit that I've seen that I'll tell you right now, in cases that are settled, where information comes out afterwards, and it's like, damn, boy, they would have paid y'all ass at trial, because you're dealing with people, the emotions of people, the feeling. Let that shit come out, because people need to see the truth. They need to understand the truth. That's the crazy part. And people will be like, well, I hate people that film. I'll tell you like this, right? At this point, what can you do about fentanyl? What can you do about it other than make people aware of what the hell's going on, what the hell's doing to our people, right? So why not film? Why not? This is the police department at once celebrated and attacked for its aggressive tactics that attracted cops like Lerner and Chauvin. As they rose through the ranks, they were rewarded for using those same aggressive tactics. The city of Minneapolis faces the same conundrum now. Officers like Lerner and Chauvin, stewed in this culture, went on to perpetuate it. Serving as a leader in the union, and Chauvin as a seasoned training officer. So they literally have learned how to do so wrong, because if they're not being held accountable, if they're not being told that it's wrong, how is it not other officers aren't doing that? And look at Officer of the Month. Damn, it's crazy. We reward them for bad shit. Damn. And another incident in 2014, Officer John Hagelin, yo, get off the fucking ground, or get on the fucking ground. I'm gonna fucking kill. Damn, I'm gonna fucking kill you multiple times to a man seen running after hearing gunshots. Damn. That's crazy. Okay, that's how you talk to people. You don't even know if he's guilty in that. Damn, the victim was let go and not charged with a crime. That's crazy. Damn, that's insane. So they just be letting them go for bad behavior. Bob Kroll. You know, Bob got a lot of shit. Bob got a lot. Bob done did a lot of shit. Bob, he think he a bad motherfucker. He reminds me of Mickey, or not Mickey. I don't know why I was thinking about Mickey. But he was Kelly. Sheriff Kelly out of Goodyear. That's who Kroll reminds me of. Forget his first name, but it's Kelly. Crazy. And yeah, this is what we pay for. This is what we give bonuses. This is what this big ass pay raise that they asked for. This is what we pay them. This is what we get. More trauma, more victims, more payouts, more settlements. Are we not? Because we're still dealing with Chauvin's bullshit. And now you're having, the family of Ricky Cobb wrote a letter, Bakari Sellers wrote a letter asking, I should say fucking demanding, because that's what I would do is demand, that the FBI and DOJ come and investigate the state patrol, because a lot did come out during these proceedings that show that there is fucking problems, regardless of whatever people want to think about Mary Mortery, right? Let's look at the laws on how they use these loopholes in their favor. We need to look at that. Their training was fucked up, right? Regardless of whatever people want to think. And that, no, it ain't even, no, you know what? It ain't even regardless of whatever people think, because you've had numerous experts come out and say that the training was fucked up. But yet they're parading Lundgren like he's a hero when a man died. And this is the crazy thing for me is we have a war going on. A war. And I hope Lundgren really moved. I see, because I'll tell you this, Lundgren, if any supporters of Lundgren are listening, Buddy still comes up on the GIS as the owner, him and his wife. So I think they would really should move for the protection of themselves. And I've seen about 5 people jump off. So if y'all are Republicans, I don't mean that as a threat. I'm just being 100% honest. Is if Lundgren still lives at that address, he should probably move. So, man, what a day though. Y'all already know what tomorrow is. Operation Hug the Block. We will be at East Lake Street. We'll be on Lake. I guess it ain't even. Yeah, it is East Lake Street. We'll be on Lake Street, and trying to think. Let me see. Operation Hug the Block. We're gonna hug the block. We're gonna hug the block. Hug the block. No, I'm just kidding. They like, man, this dude weird. Yeah, I try to be. So what you're seeing on the screen is Operation Hug the Block. This week we are bringing Operation Hug the Block to South Minneapolis, and we invite you to join us in making a difference. We refuse to let the violence deter us from showing love and support to communities that need it most. On Saturday, June 8th, we will gather at the intersection of 12th Avenue and Lake Street to demonstrate our commitment to peace and unity and community solidarity. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Let's come together to show these neighborhoods that they are not forgotten and that they are deeply loved. Your presence can make a significant impact. Spread the word, bring your friends and family, and let's hug the block with love and support. Y'all see it right here. Yeah. We ain't got no more t-shirts left, but we definitely probably get some made. You want to come in, join the team, man. We need all the help we can get. Operation Hug the Block. Marcus, Tracy. That's your boy, the Urban Conservative, Denny. And of course, my boo-boo, wifey. So y'all see what it is. Y'all knew we had the founder of Operation Hug the Block come out, and it was a blessing for him to come out, be able to shit. It was just a blessing, period, man. I'm gonna be 100. I do want to say this while I've got Facebook up. Let me see if I can get to it real quick. All right, here it is. So, this the man that started Operation Hug the Block, man. I just want to give a big shout out to Brother Jamal, man. A blessing. I've learned so much from him, and it was a honor, to be honest, for him to come down here last Saturday on his own accord and kind of surprised me and Marcus, and wanted to be here for it, and it was an honor of meeting him, getting to conversate with him, and just seeing that there, during the conversation of seeing, the problems that go on in Philly, and see that what goes on in Minneapolis, they're no different. We deal with the same things. They just deal with it more of an abundance than we deal with in Minneapolis, but there's no different. You have the same system. It's the community leaders and the elected officials and the nonprofits and the churches who are out here doing wrong and no good and really aren't trying to help the community heal and do better. But yet, when you call them out for it, you're part of they consider you a bad guy. You're part of the bad people. So I want to say that Dope doing our part exceptionally is they're honoring Jamal Johnson, who is a blessing to America, who is a blessing to communities, who's a blessing to a lot of people. We can learn from him, and I think a lot of people have. So much more I could literally say, but his relentless approach about being boots on the ground is what I take the most from it, because one thing that he says is that how you going to solve the problem if you ain't in it, and how you're in it is by walking the block. You get to know the people, right? Because how are you going to help if you don't understand or you don't know what's going on? So I think we've gotten such way of, always looking for help from the outside instead of getting that help from the inside. And we need to start getting that help from on the inside, because on the inside is unity. And I think that's what scares people, is that they don't want that unity. But it is time to unite. It's definitely time to start. Shut the hell up. No. They should really they should really start coming to the community and talking to the people. Just don't sit there and talk and give your opinion. Actually listen to what they're saying, because some people are fed up. Some people are really hurt, and what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? That's what I want to ask people. What are we doing? That's what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? So y'all already know what it is. Tomorrow's Operation Hug the Block. Like I said, meet us there. Actually, don't meet us there, beat us there, like Jamal did last week. That being said, man, win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. You deserve it. We all deserve it. Let's be safe. Let's be prosperous. Let's love on each other. And let's hug another. Let's hug one another. Don't be scared to hug. It's okay, right? A hug a day keeps the thugs away. So with that being said, man, I hope everybody has a great, great weekend. And air hug. And y'all have a great one. And I love y'all. And I'll see y'all Monday. And have a great weekend. Catch me live this weekend on the block.
Tank filmed it.
Hip hop, let me holler at y'all for a second. This conversation long overdue. All I hear y'all talking about is your money in large amounts. Must think accountability is your ability to count. It's not. That's why this culture lukewarm, intoxicated with ignorance. Let me spit the truth on. I said that glorifying murder in our music is bad. Now people coming at me saying, stop speaking up. We like to hear that. If that's your preference, that's cool. But when you get on the defense, then let me know. My spirit irritating your demons. I'm supposed to back down because of some internet hatred. I've been defeating Goliath. Baby, my first name David. All year round we feed people death and destruction, you heard me? But it's okay, cause on Thanksgiving we... Never mind. People threaten to hurt me. People say I'm clout chasing. They want the evil unopposed, huh? That sound like Satan. But I'm responding with love, maturing as I go through this. It ain't just about how I love Jesus, it's about how well I love Judas. They can't silence my voice. I'm gonna be vocal forever. These people hating on you, D. They gonna be local forever. I got the industry shook. That guilt can't pile up. I drew a line in the sand and it messed they empire up. Ain't here to blame it or shame it, but it's all about how you frame it. Now evil has an excuse, and it's called entertainment. You got a 3-part ecosystem. The labels are one, but without creators and consumers, labels can't run. So what the fans support is what the artists gonna make. Gotta deprogram and reprogram what we consume and create. I got so much more to say, but I let God lead the way. Trust I'ma serve you in doses. Who know about to start coaching you? 3, 2, 1. It's 3 to 1. Some industry, some fans, and some artists against me, but I don't run. I got the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. Class officially in session, y'all. This about to be fun. Oh man, it's about to be fun.